Sabi ko kanina, the AFP admitted that it is beyond their capability to address the non-combatant. But, merong cheat. Kumbaga sa games, may cheat. Merong military doctrine na kapag kami civilian component ang kalaban, may paraan, provided yung gagawin mo is compliant with international humanitarian law. You can Google this because this is a doctrinal military campaign. So, dito makikita nyo, no? Yan yung ginagawa ng horizontal na unit. Nagtatayo ng base, base building sa barrio, nagtatayo ng UGMO o underground mass organization or ganap sa mahang masa. No? Magiging organized masses. Then, eventually, yung masa na yon marirecruit bilang kasapi ng partido. Susumpa yan bilang kasapi ng CPP. 2 beses sumupa. Una, kandidato kasapi ng partido, bibigyan ng mga aralin, eventually magiging ganap na kasapi ng partido or full-time party member. Si Alma ay full-time. Former full-time party member ng CPP. But now withdraw her membership. Now, yung nandiyan sa kanan, NPA, armado. Itong dalawa, no, the mass base and the party members na hindi armado, they are non-combatant. Yung unit militia, they are combatant. Now, ano naging approach ng AFP? The AFP applied 2 doctrinal approaches. Ang first approach is apply the principle of stability mechanism or pamamaraan para mag-stabilize. Sinong target? Non-combatant residente ng mga barrio. Ano ang pwedeng gawin sa stability mechanism? You can Google this because this is doctrinal, hindi yan sikreto. No? Nasa Philippine Army Manual yan at nasa Army Manual ng Amerikano. No? Kasi it is a universal doctrine. Sa ilalim ng stability mechanism, the military can apply all legal means to compel that civilian to withdraw membership. Pwedeng sabihin sa kanya na tumiwalag ka na dyan kasi yung mga sinalihan mo organization ay declared na terrorist organization. Kung natatandaan nyo, last year, 2 years ago, nag-declare ang Anti-Terrorism Council, the following organizations are declared terrorist organization. So, ikinalat po nyo, dinisseminate ng Army through CSP sa mga baryo. Kung member ka ng Hulmos na Asosyong Masa, yan ay pambansang katipunan ng magbubukid. And that PKM is an underground organization declared already as terrorist organization. Tumiwalag ka na yan. So, marami tumiwalag. Now, nung tumiwalag sila, the Army influenced them to go with the government. And doing so, the Army managed to convince them to transform their organization into people's organization. PO na sila. So, walang armas. Dialogue. Enlightenment, and then become people's organization. Nung maging people's organization na sila, ginawa ng Army, kinonect siya sa DA, Department of Agriculture, DOLE, DTI, for support. And the LGU, Accredited People's Organization, no? Pero kinakapos pa eh. Pero hinahanapan pa rin hanggang ngayon ng paraan ng Army na ma-connect siya sa mga agency for support. Kasi hindi pwedeng binuo mo siya as people's organization, walang support. Mababalikan. And then, yung control mechanism, pag may mga emergencies, yan yung mga checkpoints, yan yung mga police lines, etc. Yun yung fiscal control. And these are all within the bounds of the law. Now, against the combatant, the Army applies the principle of defeat mechanism. Dahil combatant yan, the law of armed conflict allows in the maximum the destruction of armed combatant. So the Army can destroy. But hanggat maaari, dahil kababayan natin yan, hindi yan mga Chino, ang ginagawa ng Army, Dinidislocate muna sila sa bundok, isolate them there. When they feel crisis, they start going down and surrender. Then eventually result to the disintegration of the NPA unit. Peaceful. Diba? Surrender. Yung hindi nag-surrender, ay ma-encounter talaga. Katulad ng mga latest na nangyari. So, ganun yung principle ng in-apply ng Philippine. And this doctrine makes AFP campaign compliant to international humanitarian law. Now, narinig nyo, weekend guerrilla front, dismantled guerrilla front. Ano ba yung sabihin? What do we expect from weekend guerrilla front and dismantled guerrilla front? Kanina, doon sa, balikan ko lang ito, mabilis. Yung ito, no? Ang full guerrilla front, buhay yung tatlo. Yung weekend guerrilla front at saka dismantled guerrilla front, it is a parameter of the AFP and the PNP to check kung successful yung kanilang ginagawa. Now, pag ang area kinikilusan, mga masa doon na dismantled, ang guerrilla front wala ng lifeline. Kasi yung masa, tumiwalag na, naging people's organization na, wala nang panggagaling ng pondo at material. Weekend na ang guerrilla front. Wala na siyang area kinikilusan. Yung armadong front operational naman, umatras sa bundok, nahiwalay sa masa, na wala nang connection sa masa. Yun ang weekend. Eventually, yung front operational command, nagkakaroon ng crisis, surrender, hanggang sa ang matira ay isang squad na lang. No? Pag naging isang squad na lang yan, wala nang front operational command. And that squad is the guerrilla front committee. Yung 7 to 15. I-declare na yan ng AFP-PNP na dismantled. Parameter ng AFP-PNP. But in reality, may remnant. And that remnant is the core leadership na magpaplanong mag-recover. Okay? So yun ang ibig sabihin ng dismantled. Dismantled, wala siyang area kinikilusan, wala siyang malaking formation, pero may remnant siyang natitira. At yung remnant na yun ang nagpaplano ng recovery. Yan. Ngayon, yun, balikan natin yung understanding weekend guerrilla front. Remnant members, yung natitira na yun are now on recovery and defensive, on denial. Ang kanilang doctrinal move, 1 step backward, 2 steps forward. Huwag mo nang magpapansin, no? Para makarecover. Pag nagpapansin ka, masusundok ka. Huwag kang magpapansin. Now, ang ginagawa ng AFP, inaalis sa kanilang watch, sa watch list, yung na-dismantle. Pag inalis niya sa watch list yung na-dismantle, yung remnant mawawala sa kanyang watch. Silent recovery will happen. Kaya sina-advise ko sa military, when I was commander, huwag niyong alisin yan. Kahit declare niya na dismantle, huwag niyong alisin kasi may remnants yan. Kailangan yan total ubos. We can make use of local peace engagement, we can make use of combat operations, whatever, but walang remnant. Okay? So, huwag alisin hanggang hindi totally. Now, ano ang pattern of recovery? It remained unchanged. The pattern is through mass-based. Ang vulnerable target, people's organization. 78 IB, how many people's organization under your 35? 35 people's organization. And these 35 people's organization are looking for NGOs, organizations, government agencies for support. Because these people's organization are gumagawa sila ng mga project proposals for community development. Baka meron kayong kilala. You can do adapt FPO. Mag-adapt kayo ng people's organization, tulungan nyo. Baka meron silang project na kaya tulungan. So, pag hindi sila nakaahon, sila yung tatargeting for radicalization. So, we are now on a post-armed conflict situation. So what do? We have to level up our parameters. from purely cleared into conflict resilient communities. Mismong tao ang magre-reject doon sa mga radicalization. Sila magsasabi, ayaw na namin. Kasi patungo na kami sa development. So, we want to graduate from cleared of armed groups only, as declared by the AFP, to cleared of undesirable socio-economic conditions, which, if not addressed, can be exploited for fomentation of discontent. No? Gusto natin mangyari from clear to conflict resilient. Now, ito ang gusto ko ipakita na isang transformation na nangyayari ngayon. No? This is the chart on the shift in the role. Nung sinulat ang LCAP, may dalawang aim. Number one aim is diminish the armed capability of combatants. Number two is prevent the recruitment of non-combatant. Hindi dapat yung mga civilian non-combatant ma-recruit na maging combatant. Kasi ganun yung ginagawa nila. Initially, ham ka muna, but eventually yung ham na yan, magiging combatant yan, magiging NPA. Kasi magiging obligasyon ng masa na nakinabang sa NPA na mag-contribute ng kinikita niya at mag-contribute ng anak niya na maging NPA. So, ito yung aim ng LCAP. No? Itigil ang recruitment habang binababa ang armed capability through military and non-military. Now, this is a mix of effort. At the peak of insurgency situation, magtaas ang combat operation. Ang lead agency is the security sector. Diba? Of course. Kasi hindi makapasok ang civilian. Habang nag-i-implement ng security operation, nag-i-improve ang situation, bumababa ang security intervention, pumapasok ang civilian non-military intervention. Socio-economic. Ito yung sitwasyon ngayon. Where are we now? We are here. Nandiyan dyan na tayo. Diyan sa point na yan, ang sitwasyon ngayon, dapat nagtatransform na, ang lead role na ay hindi na military. Kasi ang intervention ngayon ay socio-economic and it is best led by the local government unit. And the highest LGU is the province. So ngayon, sinishare namin sa provinces na ito na ang sitwasyon. We want every province to take cognizance of this change. Ito ang meaning ng weakened guerrilla front at dismantled guerrilla front. Ang ibig sabihin yan, prepare na kayo. Kayo na ang magte-take ng lead. Yun ang mensahe ng security sector. No, kailangan maipaliwanag. Nahihiya kasi yung security sector ipaliwanag eh. Na ibig namin sabihin na dismantle yung weekend, patapos na kami. I-sustain nyo na. Now, ito yung evolving players, no? The national government agencies as resource and wherewithal provider and NGA, regional agencies, main agencies. And then, the security sector will continue to play their role as in support by pursuing the remnants. Yung natitira. Yung natitira na yung konti na lang yun, pero hinahanap mo yun sa gitna ng dayami. Parang karayom na hinahanap mo. So, kailangan niya ng maraming pwersa. Yung pwersa niya, naiipit sa pagmamalis ng people's organization at saka doon sa mga pag-aalaga sa mga FRs. We need to free them up so that the military can pursue the remnants. Now, ito ang panibagong player. Former rebels and people's organization, they should not just be beneficiaries. No? They should graduate into peace partners because marami silang potential na hindi natin na-hone. If we will hone their potentials, they will be very effective peace builders because they know a lot. They know the grievances, they know the needs, they know the people. Now, private NGOs and CSOs, domestic and abroad, kulang ang resources ng gobyerno. So we tap government, non-government. The OPA Pro is now partnering with the business sector, tapping international NGOs para suportahan yung pangangailangan ng PLGU sa transformation program. So ito yung ginagawa. Now, ways for forward to lasting peace. Where are we now? Right now, still security sector din. No? Pagka nandun kayo sa POC meeting, pag pinag-usapan ng insurgency, the media will go to the military. Will ask the military yung update. No? Dapat hindi na. Dapat ang pangunahing tinatanong, LGU. Paano po nyo hinahandle yung dismantle na yung guerrilla front, weekend guerrilla front? Community-based socio-economic. So that's one transformation. We are transforming as well. No? Yung ating mindset, nagta-transform na rin. Dapat nakikita natin yung pagbabago ng sitwasyon. Hindi na ito dating sitwasyon na napakaraan ng kalaban. No? Ang sitwasyon natin ngayon, maliit na kalaban, vulnerable yung community, kailangan galingan ng NGO ang intervention sa community. So as catalyst, sinong dapat yung i-catalyze? Diba? Yung socio-economic provider. So we are nearing the end of our conflict with weakened guerrilla front, dismantled guerrilla front. However, may denial stage pa ang CTG. They want to recover. And the target of the recovery are the people's organization which are vulnerable because of high expectations. The FRs and the POs right now are still dependent to the military. Tulungan sila dapat ialis na. Now, what we want to be? We want local issues addressed, mga undesirable situations maayos, expectations managed, former rebels and people's organization capacitated. That's why right now, I'm glad to, and I'm proud to announce it. Ang FR sa Region 8 ay fully organized na. It is known as Puswag Sinilangang Visayas. When I left, I made sure that the FRs will be organized properly. Sabi ko kina Alma, kayo ang mag-isip kung paano kayo tatayo ng sarili ninyo. So, eventually, the FR's organization was legitimized. SEC registered, and they are now, alam niyo ba, the only FR organization nationwide that is a regular member of the Regional Peace and Order Council. Nationwide. Yun pa lang, wala pang iba. Sila ang pangunahing FR Federation sa region na naging member ng RPOC. So imagine, regular member ng RPOC, kasikuhan niya yung mga RD ng iba't ibang regional agencies. Diba? Kung meron siyang project proposal, pwede niyang lapitan yung RD. RD, may project proposal na may makapwede niya. Bago pa lang sila, no? Na naging member. But, siyempre, bago pa lang, infancy stage, and eventually, mag-build relationship. So, that's how FRs are being capacitated. And that's how OPAPRO looks at capacitating FR and the people's organization na dati nilang kinakadre. Sa ngayon, sila rin magkakadre. So, we want the CTGs to fail in their recovery, and we want the insurgency to be totally eliminated in our country. At para hindi na siya maging challenge sa government. So how do we do that? We need to support the provincial local government unit. And supporting it is catalyzing it itself. Diba? Pagtulong-tulungan natin, supportahan. Peace centers. Nag-propose kami na sana bawat provincial LGU magkaroon ng isang peace unit. Kasi kung mayroong provincial planning and development office na nagpaplano ng development, sana mayroong isang unit ng probinsya na iisip ng peace, mag-handle ng amnesty, mag-handle ng mga gusto bang magbalik loob. No? Walang unit nun eh. Sa ngayon lahat yun hinahandle ng PSWD. Hirap na hirap yung PSWD. So, pinopropose namin, sana mayroong isang peace unit na habang meron pang ganitong conflict, hindi pa totally tapos. The peace unit somehow will replicate the function of OPAPRO at the national. Kasi OPAPRO tumitingin yan conflict sensitivity, etc. Wala namang ganong equivalent unit ang probinsya.